Please tell me about this lovely relationship you have with Janhvi Kapoor.
Strangely, like I think I'm like her dad, her mother, her friend, her buddy, her therapist. To not really live who you are for such a long time,
Yeah.
it created the imposter syndrome in me, and which I had battled for a very long time, especially after Masan a lot. I couldn't get out of my house, I couldn't speak to people, I couldn't take phone calls, and somehow Vikram and Anurag pushed me to do Sacred Games, and that's how I started building myself back on. And Basharat had been asking him that how do I reach out to Neeraj, and he said, "Of course you can. We can."
So
Let's talk.
Basharat wanted to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he loved Masan. Hi, I'm Neeraj Ghaywan. I'm in Cannes with Sucharita.
Hi Neeraj, it's so nice to finally sit down with you and talk about your film.
I'm so happy to be talking to you.
है ना? I was in the room when your premiere happened, and it was just a wonderful moment because people like Janhvi was just saying, so people were not crying, people had like broken down. Who was in that room, and who were the people who had the most emotional reactions? Because I saw it and I couldn't actually pinpoint who these people who was.
Honestly,
it a crew?
even I didn't know who they were. Like a lot of people who came down, like there were people crying, but there were two of the experiences that somebody broke down that it felt very cathartic to them.
Like it was coming out of them. I
They
saw
were
it.
shaking. They were like shaking so bad. I had to comfort them. They were bawling out literally, and there was a connection that I realized later. I don't know. I think it's not. I haven't sought a consent to see if that person is okay talking about it. But one of the persons who broke down heavily, I bumped into this person later after an after party, and I asked her, "Was it triggering for you? Were you okay? You had a very visceral reaction."
Yeah.
And she said, "No, the humanity of those boys and what they go through, it like." Then I sort of asked her, leaned in more, and then she told me about how she works in film, and her biggest idol was Irfan,
Yeah.
and she felt that she said that she couldn't digest the fact that he's gone, and she said this was a way to say goodbye to him, and that's why she broke down so heavily. Can you imagine the connection? And she's not even an Indian.
And Irfan also left the world in 2020,
Yeah,
which is when your film is set around that same time.
yeah.
Whoa, wow. It was quite something to be in that room yesterday. When did the Basharat Peer New York Times article first come to you? When did you discover it first?
Actually, around that time only, and so Somain Mishra, the producer on this film, he actually had met Basharat, and Basharat had been asking him that how do I reach out to Neeraj, and he said, "Of course you can. We can."
So
Let's talk."
Basharat wanted to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he loved Masan, and we spoke on Twitter sometimes, and I read the article, and it like broke me, and but I took a seed out of it and like based the premise from there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like one of the inspirations for this film is this quote by Rilke, which says that let everything happen to you, beauty and terror, no feeling is final.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see the beauty before anything. And I wanted to explore what could have happened in their lives.
Yeah.
How were their homes? What were their stories? What did they love? What were their ambitions? What did they love eating? So with that context, I also looked within. There are a lot of experiences from my own self into the film, that it was difficult to put it on screen. And somehow, I don't know how I managed to do that. Like, I'll quickly give you an example.
Please.
If you talk about any community, any ideology, people of any ideologies, any minority group, any majority group, any community that you say, you know what is common across the board, across the world? Patriarchy. Patriarchy stands tall, and it is the unifier for all of everyone, right?
Regardless of what strata
Yeah,
you are,
exactly.
where you are.
So that is also what I've sensed in my home, where I had three elder sisters.
Yeah.
And I was given the special treatment. And that time, my sisters would say that you were too cute and whatever, but I know.
You're Raja Beta.
And exactly, I was the Raja Beta that I put in the film. And growing up, I was ashamed of it. And I wanted to call out myself. And this was a way to talk about it that, like I held too much privilege.
Yeah.
And I wanted to exercise that out of my way, that saying that I wanted to call out myself
Yeah.
and my family for that.
So, for those who don't know, the Basharat Peer piece we're talking about is an opinion piece from 2020 that published in New York Times. It is available to read if you want to, but I would recommend wait for the film first and don't really go into the piece. I read the piece earlier when it had first come out, so I had an idea of what this
Yeah.
was going to be like. But I also want you to tell people here, Neeraj, this is the first time we're talking about Homebound, right? We've not spoken about this film before.
No.
But the words that you're saying right now, you're going to hear these in my review, which is going to be published like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from this conversation.
Okay.
But I want you all to know that we've not discussed the film. I just get it. I just got it. There's so many moments in the film that feel so personal, like you just said. You know, the quick moment without giving anything away, when Chandan shares his full name, there's a hesitation before he shares his last name, Kumar, and then Sudha shares her last name, Bharti, which are they're both Ambedkarite,
Yeah.
and these are both surnames that their families probably took up because
Yeah.
they're generic, common Indian
Yeah.
surnames. Bharti comes from Bharat. There's so many moments in the film. Talk to me about pulling from your own life
Yeah.
and feeding these characters, the backstory that you've invented.
So like I said, the one thing that I spoke to you about calling out the patriarchy, there's also my own thing that happened, like for the large part of my life, 35 years, I've masqueraded as being a privileged caste member. And I was passing, and it takes a toll on you, honestly, because every time you're watching over your back, you're thinking that one day my friends are going to discover and abandon me, or my professor or anyone will know and they'll have a different treatment for me. And it breaks your confidence to be masquerading some other identity that you're not. To not really live who you are for such a long time,
Yeah.
it created the imposter syndrome in me, and which I had battled for a very long time, especially after Masan a lot. I couldn't get out of my house, I couldn't speak to people, I couldn't take phone calls, and somehow Vikram and Anurag pushed me to do Sacred Games, and that's how I started building myself back on. So yeah, there are many instances in this film, like, one of the reactions, I know it'll be strange to say this, but like, so you've made the film and I've seen it 100 times, but it doesn't help me. So I was like, okay, I can't be crying in my own film, right? Because I've seen it 100 times, and I was literally dozing off in my own tech check. So I was like, okay, fine. But then there was a scene where they're wanting to build a new house, and the father is putting water on the roof.
Yeah.
And it hit me that it came from my subconscious, because that was a childhood image that I'd forgotten. Because we also had a kacha ghar when I was very, very small, and then we had a pakka ghar. And I remember my father used to pipe leke cement ki chat pe pani dal rahe the, and we used to take turns ki kaun lega.
Yeah.
And it suddenly just did something to me, and I just realized that I मैंने डाल दिया image, but it is actually coming from my childhood, which I had forgotten that image. So many of these things are so many, like even from Ishan's character, Shoaib's character.
Yeah.
Like my friend, my neighbor Askar, we used to be great friends, and उनके घर से बिरयानी आती थी, तो ईद के दिन 3 बज गए थे, आई नहीं, मुझसे रहा नहीं गया, मैं अपने छत पे कूदा और उनकी छत पे कूदा, उनके घर में जाके मैं खा रहा था, तभी उन्हें पकड़ा गया.
बिरयानी चुरा के खा ली.
Yeah, that's me.
I can't wait for people to discover these characters. They're so lovely. But talk to me about casting Ishan, Vishal, and Janhvi. Vishal said that the audition process went on for like 9 to 10 months for him. So taking these characters and then breaking them down, and because we've never seen Janhvi or Ishan do
Yeah.
anything like this
Yeah.
before. So what was that like? Did you workshop with them? How much time did you spend with these actors?
It might sound weird, but just good performance doesn't cut for me.
Yeah.
More so because I try to adopt the cinema verite style, where I want the lived reality of people to be represented well. So it is not just about performing great take, but it's also that I want them to feel it. Like how actors do method acting, I think I also do method direction kind of thing, because I have to be as close to these characters as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because I feel dishonest if I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I also did this journey of like doing it. Then when with these actors, what I did was that I did an immersion exercise, where I took them to these villages up north. We went around, this village which was in the middle of a mango orchards, and this a very weird moment happened. Sorry, I'm telling you so many anecdotes, but like, okay, so
Tell,
make it
tell.
quick. सो उस गांव में ऐसा हुआ कि लाइक एवरी हाउस वाज सो ब्यूटीफुल, दे सो हम्बलिंग, दे वाज सो नाइस टू अस. एंड हम लोग जाते जाते ना ऐसा एक घर में हम लोगों ने खाना खाया. वो सेम जैसे मेरी 3 बहनें हैं. सो दिस पर्सन ऑल्सो हैड 3 सिस्टर्स एंड छोटा बच्चा था जो पैम्पर हो रहा था.
हाँ.
एंड उन्होंने गांव के आसपास से ना यहीं से खेत से मूली तोड़ ली, यहाँ ये कर लिया और उन्होंने खाना बनाया. और मैं खाते खाते ना मेरे आंसू निकल गया. It just felt so humbling, that experience,
Yeah.
that I felt so insignificant making a film about
Yeah.
them. Like I felt, kya hai yaar? This is something else. Like this is the world that's happening around you. This humanity that's existing. उसके सामने my whole making of film felt so insignificant. Then मैंने उनको गले लगाया and he said, सर मैं आदमी गरीब हूँ लेकिन खाना अच्छा खिलाऊंगा. फिर से it was something else. And then after that in that same village एक मज़ार के बाजू में ना एक बहुत बड़ा पेड़ था. उसके नीचे हमने बैठ के मैंने उनको नरेशन दिया पूरा फिल्म फाइनल.
Actors को.
Yeah. So that is the whole experience I'm talking about. So these kind of anecdotes and things that actually build the film, like these magical experiences, these epiphanies have actually helped them channel into something that is not their own. Like I told them that you'll have to leave all your vanity, all your things, all your
Yeah.
social capital, all your privilege behind, and you become them. They
Yeah.
won't come to you, you have to go to them.
Yeah, that's what Janhvi just said. That Neeraj said to me that you'll have to go to the character. And she has a soft spot for you. Like out of all her directors, she said my other directors are jealous how much I keep talking about Neeraj. So please talk to me about this lovely relationship you have with Janhvi Kapoor.
Strangely, like I think I'm like her dad, her mother, her friend, her buddy, her therapist more. And I don't know how this relationship became like that because we were actually trying to work on a film together. And she was going through a difficult phase. And I was workshopping her for a scene audition for 10 days. And that sort of became a therapy session in a way. And that's when we really got to know. And then, and I feel sad that she gets trolled so much and,
Yeah.
so much happens to her. It's like, I feel, I can't wait actually for people to watch.
Yeah.
And know that she's such a terrific performer and she has such dignity and interiority that she's given to this film. Like, I don't know if she's mentioned about that, but like I gave her annihilation of caste.
Yeah.
She read and she went into rabbit hole of discovering so many things by herself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I had to make this film again, I'll again make it with these 3.
So great. It's so wonderful. And she's a really nice person also. Like, it's really unfortunate the kind of trolling that she gets on the
Yeah.
internet. Lastly, before we wrap up, because this has been a windy day and we've had to move set up like 3 times at this point, we wasted so much time. Lastly, what is the plan with Homebound? We premiered at Cannes. Scorsese is on board. Is there an international plan? When are we going to get to see this in India?
So, all that is going to happen once we go back home and we start discussing on the drawing board how do we go about it. Because, I shot in October. 2 months I finished my edit. 2 months I'm done with post. No time at all. So I was just doing this for Cannes submission, and Abhi will have some room to figure out what to do next.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. Good luck. I really hope that people get to watch this film. It's really special. Like I said this in my review as well. You can debate about the merits and demerits of the filmmaking, etc. But it is essential viewing. It is such an urgent documentation of our times. And this can only come from a filmmaker who still feels very deeply about India and feels a love for the nation. So
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
it's very evident. Congratulations, Neeraj.
Thank you.